Hello there. My name is Lisa, and I'm a psychologist and expert in conversational AI. By now, you've probably all heard about generative AI. It refers to a subset of artificial intelligence technologies that generate new content, which can include texts, pictures, music, and more, based on patterns learned from data. It really is on everyone's lips, and it's hard to find anyone who hasn't tried it. For example, to create pictures like this, or this, or this. Oh yeah, I just used ChatGPT to create my latest gangster rap. Would you like to hear it? Maybe later? Most of us are familiar by now with such examples from everyday life. However, current research suggests that by 2024, also the vast majority of all companies are going to either evaluating generative AI or already have it in use. Only 1% of the companies surveyed said that they are not going to adopt it. Therefore, in the recent months, many people have asked me, what impact is generative AI going to have on conversational AI? Sure. I ask myself that every day. But just for those who don't know it as well as I do, what exactly do you mean by conversational AI? Asking for a friend. Sure thing. Conversational AI is a modality that allows intuitive human-machine interaction with natural language input. Right. So what you mean is, instead of having to search and click through menus, I can get from a computer what I want just by using my own words? That is exactly right. In practice, conversational AI is often used to, for example, search for information, for troubleshooting, or for process automation, guiding the user through a process step by step until the task is complete. There are those bots that pop up on a website or answer the phone when you try to call a human. I know you're really into conversational AI and like to give your short talks about it, but I find chatbots really annoying. Yes, unfortunately, many people feel this way. When I tell people what I do for a living, the reactions are often a bit stronger.
Hey, nice to meet you. What do you do?
I work with digital assistants.
I hate chatbots!
Many digital assistants are not optimally thought out and therefore cause a lot of frustration. I don't even know what I can say. What can you do? Okay, let's just try it. My flight has been cancelled. What do I have to do now? No, I've already booked the flight. It was cancelled. Because we are used to communicating with other people through language, we have very high expectations when it comes to this type of interaction. When these expectations are disappointed, we are quickly frustrated and react with pretty strong emotions. Well, it is annoying. This is why we need to follow some best practices when implementing for digital assistants, some of which I have talked about in my last videos. If we do, conversational AI is a fantastic modality that helps us complete our tasks quickly and intuitively. However, the conceptual complexity of doing this is often underestimated. Like any other user interface, good conversational AI requires some effort, which can be a challenge when it's supposed to scale. I'm not sure I get it. Just use this generative AI. I believe it can do anything by itself. Well, generative AI is here indeed extremely interesting. Let's take a look at what generative AI is. As I said in the beginning, when artificial intelligence can be used to generate new content, it is referred to as generative AI. It can, for example, be used to generate text or whole conversations. In conventional conversational AI, so what I have talked about up until now, every answer given by a digital assistant had to be anticipated, formulated, and implemented by a person. This is why generative AI really is a game changer for conversational AI. Okay, but how does that work? These models can generate new things because they have been trained on large amounts of data. What this means, for example, in the domain of language, is that these models have been fed with many, many different texts. From these texts, the model learns complex relationships between words, sentences, and content. Nice! So it can generate new things based on what it learned in the given data. Exactly. It can use the learned relationships from the texts to derive statistical probabilities in order to make predictions, like what is the next likely word in a sentence. So when we ask the model a question, as we see here, it doesn't understand the question as a human would, but it can use the words to predict the most likely sensible answer and to generate it. Okay, let's get back to digital assistants. So you said that conversational AI has to be designed really, really well, but that is time consuming. So can I use generative AI to generate all the answers automatically? Well, in theory, yes. But whether the generated answer is going to be helpful for the user depends on the specific data that was used to train the model or that it can access. After all, generative AI can only generate answers about topics that it knows of. And since generative AI simply calculates which answer is probably the right one, these models also make mistakes.
Oh, what kind of mistakes?
For example, if they want to generate an answer for a topic where they have no relevant or outdated information, they generate answers that are incorrect. This is called hallucination. And this can happen even if the model should have the right information. For users who are not very familiar with a specific topic, this is extremely hard to recognize. You have probably heard of the case where an US lawyer submitted a federal court filing that included at least 6 cases that don't exist. This happened because he used the chatbot ChatGPT, which completely invented the cases out of thin air.
That's bad.
Indeed. The answers that generative AI models give can also be influenced by the way the questions are asked by the user. This is called prompt engineering. A car dealership recently learned this the hard way. They used a digital assistant with ChatGPT that was tricked by users into offering vehicles for $1. Now that's what I call competitive prices. So let me summarize. Conversational AI is an extremely effective technology that allows us to interact with computers by just talking to them. However, bad conversational AI is extremely frustrating, but to design it really well, needs a lot of effort. Generative AI is extremely powerful and can automate a lot of things, but it doesn't seem to be completely reliable to me. So what does that mean now? This means that for great conversational AI, we have to combine the strengths of both approaches in one and the same solution. Depending on the user question and the use case, we can then decide whether the assistant should respond with a predefined answer or process, or whether it should use documents to generate an answer. At the same time, we can deploy the technologies in such a way that problems like hallucinations become very unlikely. Sounds too abstract? In my next video, I will show you what this can look like in practice. Well, I'm convinced. Can I perform my generated rap now? Okay,